conscious we've got 3/4 of the number of candidates we had on Monday. We've actually been through about 3/4 of the amount of time, and we've answered about the same number of questions. But if any other member does have anything that they would like to put at this point, otherwise I'll invite closing statements from the candidates. Okay, in which case I'll invite closing statements, and the first up on this will be Mrs. Lord-Brennan, if that's...
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, honourable members. Well, I hope that some of the things I've been able to tell you would give you confidence that if elected, I'd be able to start the job and I'd be in a right position to do a good job straight away. I'd like to pick up on some of the things that were mentioned briefly. It relates to, obviously, MLCs being in departments, about the scrutiny function and about value. The whole thing, the common thread through that really is resourcing everything that we've got to do, because there is a tremendous of work to be done, a tremendous amount of work to be done. The programme for government is so ambitious, and the legislative programme for the next few years will have so much going on, in addition to the implications of Brexit. So I really, want to be part of resourcing that and helping in any way I can. Additionally, I'd like to thank all the members who've met with me over the past few months, especially those that have encouraged me to think seriously about putting myself forward. Thank you. It really would be an honour to be a member of the Legislative Council and to play a role in the Parliament of the Isle of Man, and in doing so work towards a better future, which is really what this is all about. If I get the chance, it is a role I would play with thought and care. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. I mean, you might guess with a name like Juan Kelly that sort of Manx heritage. My family goes back a long way, up in Mackle, your neck of the woods, in Mackle Church there. And partly for that reason, I really love the Isle of Man. It's something I'm really passionate about. And I believe that, as I said at the outset, that we really are facing some challenges as an island nation. We've had this tailwind now for some time, but that's dissipating. So I think it's actually going to get harder. Nonetheless, I'm very optimistic about the future. If we make the right decisions, if we are prepared to grasp the nettles that we need to grasp, I think this role is one of enormous amount of responsibility. I think it requires not only great breadth of knowledge and experience, but certainly depth of knowledge and experience, particularly in areas like law, like policy, like governance, and indeed a lot of the underlying subject matter. I think to deliver effectively, we need to take a progressive view on healthcare, on education, on economic policy. I think if we don't do that, I think we're in danger of being left behind as an island nation. And given that the pace of change is only accelerating in the future, I don't think we can afford to do that. I would be genuinely honoured and 100% committed to being an MLC if I was elected. And I thank you all for the support I've had thus far. Thank you.
Mrs. Humbles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, and also honourable members. Firstly, I'd quite like to thank my proposer, Miss Watterson, who isn't here at the moment, my seconder, David Ashford, and also all of my centres as well, who have been very, very generous with their time, and I do greatly appreciate it. And also to everyone that's met with me, and those as well that have taken the time out to read my personal statement, or even if it's just the bullet points down at the bottom. I have gained a great deal more understanding perhaps than I had before going through this process, and I've really enjoyed it. And more of an understanding of exactly what the House of Keys wants from the Legislative Council, and also what it wants going forward as well. And I feel that I share the vision of a very efficient, very inclusive council, and one that works primarily to critically observe and examine policy and legislation as part of a very, very strong team that represents our community, of which we're all very, very grateful to be a part of. the elections are coming up. There's a number of diverse and capable people that have come forward in this election, and it's thanks to you know, the sort of everybody that's come forward, I suppose, for the general election as well. And I would be very, very grateful to be part of Tynwald. And it's something that perhaps I've realised I want a lot more now that I'm part of the process. So even if I am not successful this time around, I will put my name forward again. I've laid down my roots here. This place is very, very important to me. The Isle of Man is very, very important to me. And I'd like to be able to give back.
Mrs. Corlett.
The Isle of Man has an amazing history and tradition, and Tynwald forms a very important part of that. And I would be so proud and honoured to be a part of that. History has always been one of my favourite topics. I bore everybody to death on history. It's most of my reading material, and I literally would be honoured to form a part of this. And I hope that, as Mrs. Humbles has said, the candidates here today and on Monday are a diverse group, and because of the number of positions that are available, there's an opportunity to select from this diverse range and to gain a really good mix of people that will help assist this island move forward. I hope that you will find that I perhaps could be one of those, and I thank you for your time today.
Ms. Joughin.
Thank you all very much for your time. Thank you for all the MHKs that have made the time to meet with me. You've got a very difficult job, as the other candidates have said. There's a very diverse range, a lot of very able, very intelligent people to choose from. You've got to pick 5 people who can work together and who can also fit into the existing machine. I'd be very honoured to serve as a member of Legislative Council. I do believe that I have all the skills that are necessary, and I would give 100% commitment. I'm very interested in the role, and thank you very much.
Mr. Furner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honourable members. After some training, and with dedication and humility on my part, I will quickly learn the ropes of the main political protocols and behaviours of being a member of LegCo. I have a meticulous eye for detail. I'm persistent and methodical. I'm a completer finisher. I see things through to the end. As such, I have a natural affinity for the scrutiny, challenge and improvement of technical material, such as proposed legislation. Also, my experience in conducting detailed investigations into all manners of matters arising and reporting on them accordingly and making recommendations for improvement makes me excellently suited to the probing work of policy review and other investigative committees. It is for MHKs to elect what you consider to be a good mix of skills and experience, for the combined membership of LegCo to be useful and of good service. The skills and experience that I bring include a strong background in financial management and systems management. By electing me to LegCo, you will be voting in someone who would wish to spend a significant part of his time on one focused issue, to gain a comprehensive and detailed understanding of the island's financial position and how it is forecast to play out in the future in the long term. This will be by constant probing, investigation and examination of methodology, data and assumptions. Are the assumptions appropriate and relevant? In short, are they a good set of assumptions that represent the real world well enough? Are their values reasonable now and in the future? Are the assumptions mutually consistent? Are they considered and agreed as suitable by all departments and all MHKs? Are we mindful of the uncertainties in the assumptions and the extent of those uncertainties? Do we accept the best estimate outcomes that are projected to play out and their impact on future generations? And, if not, how does that inform our thinking on policy now, on what steps must be taken now to ensure a better outcome for future generations? Is there proper communication of all these matters within government, within Parliament, and with citizens? These are the areas I would like to be covering, a sort of self-proclaimed champion for awareness across the community of the island's current and future projected financial position, and of implications for current policy to safeguard our financial future. If you consider this to be a valuable endeavour, then you can achieve it by electing me to the Legislative Council. Thank you.
Honourable members, on your behalf, I'd like to thank the candidates for venturing into the lion's den and facing your questions today. It's been slightly less turbulent in here than it has outside, but I think they've all weathered the storm. Can I ask members to show their appreciation in the usual way?